We're live.
Thank you, Gustavo. So good afternoon, everyone. This is a pleasure to be here hosting this webinar. This is going to be unfortunately the last webinar of this school year here for Europe. But we are already preparing and warming up for the next series of webinars after you come back from your vacation, your holidays, your well-deserved vacation. But we had to end this season with a top-notch webinar about something that I know is very close to your hearts. So today I have the privilege of introducing to you Rola Sayeg from the project Design CT. She was here with us before for the project Open Teach, which is another jewel that we have delivered to you. And today she's going to present this new super duper project. I'm totally addicted to it, I have to say. But I'm not spoiling it. I will let Rola tell you all about what we are doing and how this project can help you totally reshape the way you interact with your students. So Rola, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Rosa. Thank you, Gustavo. I'm very happy to be back in your series of webinar for this year. Today, we're going to talk about the Design City project. We're going to talk about a project that aims at helping teachers facilitate their life, while at the same time providing them the opportunity to test their creativity and their innovation and be really in control of their lessons and their teaching. So I'm going to start by sharing the screen. Yeah. And here we go. So the project today we are introducing is called Design City. And Design City, in today's session, we're going to talk a little bit about the vision. Where did this vision come from? Where did the idea of the project come from? Who is involved in this project? And of course, why this project is helpful for teachers. And we will actually see the live website. We're going to see how to work on it, what to expect to see. And if people have questions today live, we can take them. And if later on in the chats, as you are watching the webinar at later points, you can always add your comments and we will get back to you. So how it all started with this Design City. I mean, I tend to call it city as if it's a city village, but it's actually CT, no? But it's easier to say it. So it all started with us thinking teachers really have this separated things in their brains. They have in one place all this amazing knowledge that they would like to deliver and self-improve and deliver to their students, but also they have all this creativity, and sometimes they have to choose between, okay, either I can deliver the content for my kids or I can actually try to deliver it in a more creative way. And so we thought teachers have great potentials, sometimes due to time, sometimes due to some lack of knowledge, sometimes due to simply not finding the right tools. This could get a bit tricky and they might get stuck in one place and not the other. And then, of course, teachers know their kids best. I don't know this book. I haven't read it, so I'm not promoting it, but I thought it would be cute to put it in. Teachers know best, which means no one knows your students. No one knows your subject matter. No one knows the community where your students are coming from more than you. You are the leaders. You are sometimes the parents. You are the friends. Of course, you are the educators as well. And teachers should have really be able to take control. And also, I am not promoting an energy drink, but teacher power, you know, I found it super cute. It's actually an energy drink for teachers. So we want teacher power without the energy drink, but with the facilities and the knowledge and the tools and the experience and everything that we try to deliver in this project. We want to have teachers in control of their classroom. We want them to unleash their creativity. We want them to be able to do all of this, but also to do it within reasonable time. So the project Design City is actually an Erasmus Plus project. It's funded by the European Union Erasmus Plus program. and it started in April 2021, and it ends actually this next month in July 2023, but we are continuing with the work of the project. We have 4 different countries on board. In Germany, we have 3 partners. In Portugal, our host Nucleo. In Greece, we have a partner. And in France, we were working with schools. So IMC is a German company. We are actually leading the project and working on developing the platform and enabling the different tools. Nucleo, you all know them. Teacher training, amazing teacher training. Our partners, EA, I'm also sure you're familiar with them. They're also in the project you guys are coming from, learning from the extremes. So no introduction to EA, I think, is needed. You all know it. And Südschule and Lernwelt are also German partners. Südschule is actually a school, so we have teachers on board who are telling us, yes, you are allowed to do this to teachers. No, you're not allowed to do this to teachers. This works, this doesn't work. And we have a partner that's called Lernwelt. They are also a teachers network in Germany. So these are the project partners. And the project, where does this CT come from? It's not city, CITY. It's actually create, teach, and train. Design, create, teach, and train. And the full title is a smart ecosystem to support teachers in designing and creating pedagogically sound digital lessons and resources. A huge subtitle, but it gives you exactly the key of where exactly the strength of this project is. So you have a smart ecosystem, which we will see together. What does smart mean? How does it support me? What does it do for me? What effort does it take away from me? So we're going to look at this today. Designing and creating pedagogical sound lessons. So not just putting any lesson together, but actually really using all these didactical approaches you guys learned about at university maybe, or from your experience, long years of experience, and whether it's digital lessons to end up and giving them to the students. So this is the core of Design City, if you want. And the website, as you see it, is design-ct.eu. So why did we actually go through this? What is really the rationale of this that we have to offer to teachers? As you saw, if you are a teachers who really want to try to really squeeze the best of digital and blended learning, right? You really want to see, okay, what does it have to offer me without becoming a second job for me? So anything that learning about how a digital environment is a bit different than a blended environment. It's a bit different than sitting in a classroom and having the students face to face all the time. There are differences, not only physical, like if it's on a screen or online, or also the differences come from the pedagogy itself. How can I really grab the students' attention when they are looking at the screen without them going and playing, I don't know, their online game on the side suddenly? So there are certain things, certain aspects, certain tricks that teachers can do. And we hope that in this project, part of our training program, which we will talk about as well, that we provide tips on how to motivate students, how to really build a lesson that is more than just a text for a 40-minute, for instance, in a digital environment for a 10-year-old student, because then you definitely lose them after 2 minutes. So we try to provide our best from best practices, from based on pedagogical methodologies, based on what teachers also from blogs and how they share their experiences and say, hey, this works, this doesn't work, make sure you do this, make sure you don't do that. More importantly, and this is really not a new concept, how do I move more and more toward having the students lead the class, having the students take over their learning? Of course, me as a teacher, I'm always present. I am a guidance in the classroom. I am the maestro of this orchestra, and the kids are actually really diving into learning at their own pace, unleashing their sense of exploration, their sense of innovation. And me as a teacher, I enable it the way I plan a lesson. And this is very important. This is where Design City comes. The scenario I try to put to the students to enable the students to think beyond just reading, understanding, and memorizing, and at the same time to have them do their concrete work. So when we talk about blending here, we have to be careful. Not everything just has to be a screen. Sometimes a screen is needed, sometimes no, it definitely is not needed. So this blended whole concept and scenario is actually, unless we get a Corona or Corona 2.0 soon, this blended scenario actually works because some activities are best done online, some activities are best done really with hands-on work. So all in all, whatever the type of the activity is, student-centered activities, and the more I go into student-centered approaches, the better the result and the understanding of the student is. At the beginning, it might be a bit tricky because you have to learn the method yourself. You have to get the students to get used to it as well. But once you are there, I mean, it becomes really a fun ongoing class. And creating your own digital content, but of course, there's a big BUT under it. So creating your own digital content and lessons. So yeah, I like this something I found online, but it really doesn't fit everything my students need or I imagine to put in my lesson. I want to create my own thing, but who has the time to do it? At the same time, there's a limit to how much people can learn at some point. Yeah. I mean, within the time given, within the skills they have. So sometimes it's just overwhelming. You open Google, you say, hey, give me a tool to create content, and you get, I think, I don't know, thousands of responses, and you don't know where to go. So it's really overwhelming. And it's overwhelming because you don't have the luxury of time to spend months looking at the tools and taking your time learning them. You just need an answer and the concrete hands-on work for your need at that moment. And of course, we all wish we had more time. 24 hours are never enough in a day. So we understand, or this is where we come from. This is what we try to offer teachers. So we try to offer this understanding of what works best in which digital environment. How do I move to a more student-centered teaching methodology in my classroom? How do I actually encourage students to learn in different ways? And for me to learn with them, how can I do this with them? And how can I create content without really putting in so much effort and having to go back to university and study all over again just to become an instructional designer? Yeah, because really no one is expecting this. And so this is what we try to support. We talked about the smart authoring tool. So there's a tool that enables you to create content. We're going to see it. We're going to see which part of the work it takes away from you. So you focus on that part of the work that really matters to you. So instead of you having to design and to place things in a certain way, and I don't know how it will look at the end, I don't know how to make it more interactive to the students, you will just bring on this content, throw it in that tool, and it does it for you. So that's the smart part of the tool. We're going to test it together. And then, of course, there's a part about learning. I mean, we as teachers as well need to have this continuous development, this professional development. Even if you know something, things change, experiences change. What was, let's say, set to work 20 years ago, maybe it's still working nowadays, maybe not. But if it is, maybe there are now new approaches to it, new ways, new support material for it. So these are what we talk about are our learning cards, this purple circle that you're saying. And the main focus of our training topics come in learning environments, student-centered methodologies, like we talked about earlier, but we also understand that you need like this kind of guidelines. Okay, where do I find digital tools and resources? If I want to find a tool to assess learning, is there an easy way for me to learn about tools? So we have a certain small training card that tells you about these tools. For assessment, a tool for collaboration, a tool for even sharing online content with the students. So different tools that teachers use more often. And we have this kind of training small cards that you can take to take a quick look on what we are trying to deliver, let's say, as available. Of course, we cannot put everything out there, but we try to be selective according to the experiences the teachers share with us, what works with them, what is mostly used, what is familiar to the students, what works mostly in the different computers and software. And then you have the instructional design and learning scenarios. And these are directly linked. Like you don't really have to be an instructional designer, but you as a teacher, if you want to, let's say, promote that students go and explore sciences instead of you just giving them a science book and tell them learn the theory and this is what happens. These are a couple of images and we're done. For instance, if you want to encourage them to become explorers, for instance, or if you want to do a lesson based on inquiry. There are certain scenarios that are out there that are pedagogically sound scenarios that are already available to you and organized in a very proper way that all you have to do, for instance, is just, okay, this is the lesson I want to give. I'll divide it throughout these different steps. I'll divide it throughout the scenario. And eventually I produce a scenario from A to Z that is taking the students into this journey of student-centered approaches and student-centered methodology. So when we talk about instructional design here, we're not saying it in the sense that you have to become a total instructional designer, but it's about how do I use these pedagogically available scenarios that are there in this world, and where do I find them in this project, in the tool, and how can I reuse them so I don't have to always start from scratch. Yeah, sometimes starting from scratch is difficult. Therefore, we have these didactical templates in this light blue that you see. These are some examples of the didactical templates that we have in our tool. And let's say if I just want the kids to watch something or read something and then reflect on it, sometimes this is all you need. Not all the time you need something so complicated that takes, I don't know, 3 hours to do with the students. Sometimes you really want something that simple. So we have a kind of a template, which we will see together now. And you just open the template. Okay, you don't like maybe the content that we gave as an example, but you already have a structure. All you have to do is put your text in, an image here, a video there, and you're done. Okay, and the tool takes care of the rest. Think, pair, and share is similar. It's just a simple concept that you want to use with your students. So we give a kind of the scenario on how you can organize such a lesson with a nice example for a lesson, whether you use our lesson or you decide to modify it a little bit, or you decide to make your whole lesson from it. It's up to you. Inquiry-based learning, project-based learning, game-based learning, flipped classroom, concept mapping. And I can imagine a lot of teachers listening to us and saying, ah, come on, inquiry-based project, I've been hearing about them for years. Yes, true. But then have we been really applying them in the classroom? And sometimes it's difficult to apply them because then you have to go through that whole process and the research, what do I put in this orientation phase, in the conceptualization phase, in the experimentation phase, let's say for inquiry based. But if you had a whole template that already gives you these stages and even the examples within these stages, you can simply reuse it. Now, and this is the goal, for us to give you the quality but reduce literally the time and the effort you have to put in. Then, as you see, we talked about the scenarios, and we try our best to put all of this, whether the template or the example lessons that we try to provide, or that you create and decide to share with the rest of the community and the other teachers, to put them in a library. So this is how Design City supports the journey for the teachers. And now we can actually see it concretely without just looking at images and words. So let's see if I'm still logged in. So welcome to Design City. This is the platform. So you go to design-city.eu and you have the platform there. You can directly sign up yourself. You put your email, your username, the password, and you can read about the project here. You can take an active part in the project if you want. You can register to these cells, and you can read a little bit about the news and the events that we are having. So let's say you are signing up and you decided to sign up to the project. This is here also something important to say, that the project website itself is available in multiple languages, the languages of the project. So we have English, which we will be seeing today. Of course, if I put it into German, it will become a German website, the Greek website, the Portuguese website. I think this is the most interesting one for the time being, and the French website. So it's the same website with different translations. You can use whatever language you feel comfortable with. Okay. For the time being, for us today, we're going to be using the English one. So I logged in because I had that prepared already. As I logged in and I got to my homepage. And in my homepage, I had already started to learn. Remember, we talked about these training programs that we have, right? And in the training programs, we have these mini cards, which we will see an example about now. And these cards now tell me, okay, this is where you are. This is what you are studying. Do you want to continue or not? So I can start continuing here. These are some examples of the lessons we have been talking about here that you can see. Am I sharing my screen? Yeah. Okay. And I'm sharing the website? Yes, okay. So then you see the top content here, which are the different content available. Here I have to say we are building up this library, so we already have some content available that we are still putting on the platform, but today we're going to see some examples. And when I see something that I like, I bookmark it and I keep it for myself so that I have quick access to it. So tools for students collaboration is something very important for me. I bookmark it and I never lose it again. It's on my bookshelf. And then I have these badges here. So whenever I'm working in the platform and I'm doing the units, I complete a certain card, and then I get these badges to tell me that I'm actually improving in my learning. So this is usually my home page. Now we can go and see the training. Yeah. So the training, as you see, you can have whole units, which we will open one now and see. And I can have these little cute cards that you open and you don't have time to take a whole day of learning, but I do have, I don't know, 15 minutes in the bus, for instance. No? So I can do a card while I am in the bus. So let's open a unit to see how it looks. So the unit is made out of these mini cards, right? And every card tackles a certain topic of the topics we have been talking about. So for instance, in this unit, there are the cards about the importance of student-centered methodology. How do I designing for my class? How do I promote inclusion and equity in my class? How do I empower explorers, inspiring innovation, building community bridges? So you can see that this unit is wrapping up everything that has to do with student-centered methodologies. And of course, it doesn't mean that I have to take them all. If I find one of them is interesting, I can just open it and go through it. For instance, let's open the first card, the importance of students. See, these are your cards, and you can select which ones you would like to, or which topics are more interesting to you. Now, these cards, and this is the first hint for you, have been created in our Express tool, this authoring tool we have been talking about. Now, the Express tool has a magic in it. It actually gives you automatic translation for any content you have. So you just say, I want to translate this content to Greek, French, German, Portuguese, Turkish, Arabic, Chinese, Romanian, any language you want. When you are working in the tool, which we will see today, you just add the language you want, yeah, and then the content is available multilingually. And this here is a very important trick because when you create content in the tool, let's say I have a group of students who come from a different background, or their mother tongue is not Portuguese or is not whatever the language I'm teaching in. It's sometimes nice to give them the language they are more familiar with, even if it's not totally correct and it's automatically translated. Nevertheless, it will give them more familiar with the lesson itself. So that could be very helpful for teachers. In our case, this is our training card, and if I start playing it, yeah, I'm the sound you mean? I think for now it's okay if you don't have the sound, but the good thing about it is that if I'm actually learning, like you see here in the card, I have someone who can read it for me, which is also amazing because then if you have students who have difficulties in reading or students who enjoy hearing it better, that also helps. For us as teachers, we are taking this card and then here I start with my learning objective. And then it tells me what I'm going to be learning in this training card as a teacher. It explains to me, okay, so in this card, first we're going to introduce the topic to you, and then we're going to help you try to implement and create your own activities related to this topic and apply and reflect on them in the classroom. And so this is the main structure of the training that we have, these 3 levels. And here, let's say we have an introduction to the student-centered methodology. It could come as a small video that is integrated that is telling you about it. It could come as regular text, as an external link. So as you see here, you can interactively go through that card. And watch the video, check out the link, read the text, do the exercises that we have in it, and so on and so forth. So this is a simple training card that you could have. This is your outline. Let's say you can see already what you have in it that is done. And if I go back now, this is how I can do my training. So the concept was we may not have a huge MOOCs and huge courses because teachers may not have the time for it, or they might not be interested to take something that extensively. However, I am interested in a certain topic. So, okay, that sounds interesting. I go to it. I take this training card, which would take me what? The first level, let's say 15 minutes. Second level, if I need to implement something or reflect on something, maybe the next day I can do something in the classroom and reflect on it, so and so on and so forth. Yeah, so all in all, from time perspective, they are designed to give you what you need in a short time, while at the same time give you a good quality reflection on the content. Yeah. So this is training, and this is, for example, the card that we were saying, and now we're going to leave it. And again, I'm going to go back to that training page. And like we said, you may take the unit itself, or you may take separate cards. In the next one, which is the library, you actually have here, that's our library, you actually have different content. These are lessons, and these are, let's say, lessons that you can actually give to your students. So if I open the lesson of animal habitat, right, here we explain to what grade level it's more suited, which template it was used. Before we go to the tool, maybe we can see the lesson here. So it tells you which template it's using, and you can go to this express creation to actually duplicate it, create it, make it your own. And when I open the link here to actually see the lesson, I got the German version. I want the port name. Sorry, if I do put the Portuguese version, I will not know what it's saying. So I'm going to put the English version. Animal habitats. Okay. And so, and is this is a lesson. This is a lesson that is designed for students, right? It's also using this express tool that we are talking about. And now it's telling students, okay, so today we're going to continue learning about animals. And in this activities, we're learning about the animals' habitat and where they live and what is a habitat. You see, you can put images, you can put text in different sizes. You can put an image with actual labeling. Yeah, so these are interactive. They can work on them on their tablets, on their mobile phone. The size now, I will show you the example. It actually resizes on its own. So let's say, what is this? This is grassland. This is a wetland. This is a forest, tundra. So you can actually do this image labeling for the students. And this is actually very helpful, especially, let's say, in anatomy, or if you are doing parts of the house, yeah, and you want this highlighting of words, of vocabulary, for instance. Here, we are using an external tool to make this mind map, to write and at least draw two animals for each habitat. So this is an external tool that we've put the link in our tool, and now I can work directly in it here. So I can add and say, okay, for water, I have a dolphin. What else can I have? And I can add my responses. This is an example of a tool that could be embedded in our interactive lesson, let's call it. There are other tools that you are also familiar with. For instance, Padlet, I think a lot of teachers are familiar with it. Learning apps, I don't know if many teachers are familiar with it, but we're going to see an example. Also, like I just put the link of these, the content I created there, and it's wrapped up in our lesson here. So let's explore animal habitats. Yeah, this is an integrated video that I can play and watch. And then let's play the memory game. This is from the learning apps, actually. So you are, wait, do you think I can get one right? Just a sec. Oh yeah, I got one. So you play it directly in the tool. You don't really have to get the kids in and out into a million little tools. Nevertheless, as a whole, it's interactive. Really, it depends on what you find, what you put in it. It could be something that is 3 slides, or it could be something that is 10 slides, depending on your objective, depending on your students. Yeah, but these are the examples of how it could be interactive. And guess what habitat it is? No, this is also a video with a song, and then the song tells them, hey, which habitat is this? And so and so on and so forth. I think you got the gist of what could be put in this tool. This is, let's say, a Miro board. No? So you could put a video, you could put an image, you can do from the tool itself these labeled images, you can integrate a Miro board, you can integrate a learning app, you can integrate a Padlet. So it depends on whatever tool you already use or you would like to use or learn to use, you can integrate them here. Most of them will show in this way. Some of them, they just show as a link. Yeah? And then I think we're going to stop with the lesson to go actually to see how this lovely interactive lesson was created. Oh, that's a lab. That's an interactive simulation lab. Okay. So, oops, I left it. Play. And you can actually play while you are still inside the lesson. Okay. And so on and so forth. So how was this lovely interactive lesson created? No? Also here, these are games that we put. I mean, this is a primary lesson, so we've put a lot of this kind of interactions and games, because I would say for primary, there is no way that you could put texts for them a lot. I mean, they can listen to the instructions even, right? So if they play it, they don't know how to read the instructions, they can listen to it and then do the game. Now, how was all this created? No, it was created. So when I was in the actual platform, I'm going to go back to tell you where I was. So I was now showing you from the library this animal habitats lesson. I go to the express creation. No? And so I don't open it twice here. So I go to the express creation, and this is where this express tool, our magical tool there. So we're going to actually open the same project we just saw, because you saw how it is. And I'm going to open it. And inside it is the content that we just saw presented in this interactive format. Okay. So once I open the tool, yeah, see, here I have my title, the description, the images I have added. Here, what you see in yellow are the explanation, what you should do now. For instance, in our template, these are the images you have seen. See, it was just an image, the text. This is the interactive card with the names. And then here, as you see in our template, because this is based on a template, we actually explain what we have used and what you can do in it. And we explain why we use these tools. This is a concept map approach. So we have used a concept map to brainstorm a concept. And we explain what does this do for the kids. So all these yellow cards, you have not seen them in the actual lesson itself, but they are here inside it as a template concept to help you with some tips and tricks and what have we done here and why did we do it this way. You can, of course, take the suggestions or you can ignore them. It's up to you. But at the end of the day, anything in yellow does not show in your lesson. And see here, I just added a YouTube link and then I said, okay, let me embed this YouTube link and so on and so forth. See, this is how I created. Now, where did this come from? Now, imagine now I'm going to say, let me add something else. Match the animals to their habitat. I want to add a block. Now, do you see I just hovered over it and I got this plus. And like you see, I can add a heading, I can add a paragraph, a list, a quote. I can then image, video, a video link, interactions, these questions, the hotspot images, a flip card. Oh, let's add a flip card. Okay. Anne, let me not add a flip card. Let me tell the system to make flip cards for me. That would be even better. So I'm lazy. I don't want to do it now. I will delete these. So I can do different kind of interactions, and I can, if I already have, let's say, a lesson in PowerPoint or in Word, I can import it directly. It will give me all the text that is in it, and I can organize it. And imagine now, I'm going to tell something called Express GPT. If you already heard of GPT and Chat GPT, it's this AI automated artificial intelligence way of creating content, yeah, of generating content. In ChatGPT, it's chatting, getting responses, interacting with an AI machine. For this Express GPT, it's also based on artificial intelligence, where I already had content here, and I say, you know what, let's ask for some flip cards. So the system will check what content have you already written here, and it will give me a couple of suggestions. So let's see. 4 habitats. Describe 4 habitats. Activity to guess what habitat is. Activity to write and draw. So here it's giving me, actually, because I didn't have a lot of text, it tried its best to give me some concepts of what I can do here. No? If I decide to do other type of activity, it could give it to me directly. I can either add it, I can cancel. So imagine this as a teacher, and this is what we're trying to say. It's a tool where I can start with a template that is already there. I can change the title, change the image. Maybe here I want to add another paragraph. I'm not sure this is enough. I just add a plus paragraph. Here is a new paragraph. And I'm done. Then I say, okay, this is a new paragraph. I added what I wanted. And like you see here, you can always preview it. And when you preview it, this is what you see, the lesson that we have seen before, the actual outcome for the students. As you see, it's in multi-languages, and you can actually play it. Here you see the screen size. So how will my students see it in mobile view? How will they see it in a tablet view? No? And yeah, it didn't take enough time to do the mobile. Right? Yeah. So once you do that, this is the way you can preview it. No? There you go. And then you say, yeah, I like this, I don't like it, you change it. To share this content, you can publish it. You can publish it as a website to get a link. So you just get a link, and that link you can share it with your students. And more importantly, you can add it to the Design City library so that other people can see your lessons and get inspired by you. So in this tool, you can produce the content as a link, for instance. You can make it as a content for ebook readers. You can make it as a content and download it as a zip folder. Depends on where you want to put it. But I would say usually the best and easiest way is to actually have the link. And then in this link, you may share it as a QR code or as a text link with your students. Put it on your school platform. Put it on the Design City platform. No? In Design City, as you can see here, I can manage and create content. So I can simply add that link to the platform, and it will go to the library. All right. So this is more or less how Design City is organized. Of course, you can add any kind of content you would like. And here, if I want to add this link that I just generated for my lesson. Going back to the tool. Yeah. Here, another thing is I may decide to say, hey, let me invite someone to do this work with me. I don't want to do all the work on my own. I'm going to actually start a lesson, and I'm going to ask Rosa now to get it. Let me add Rosa. So I have Rosa's email here. Just a second. I'm going to get Rosa and add her as a co-creator with me. Add user. No, I got, well, not this one. Another one, Rosa. Sorry. So Rosa has an account already on Design City with this email. So I'm going to add her as a user. And now Rosa can actually, if you are already logged in, Rosa, you can go there, and then I can see RS playing around in the project. So then I've just added Rosa. Rosa has the right to create content with me, to fix the content with me. No? And as we said, it's as simple as a plus. Just choose what you're adding and put the text, the image, the video, the link. Make the tool, after you put your content and the text that you want, let the tool create your activities, let it make your own, the tool make the summary for you, and of course you can correct it and save it. Let them do the questions for this. I can't put questions at the beginning, logically. No? See, oh, Rosa, I see you. See, Rosa now is logged into the project, and I can see what Rosa is doing. If she's working, let's say, go back to your home. Yeah, see, she locked me. So now, because Rosa is working on this block, I cannot overwrite her. I have to wait until she finishes. So the thing about this tool is, from a perspective of teachers, you have already templates that you can use, like this one. And of course, if you say, hey, this is too messy for me, let me just simply test that tool. I don't want so much content. No, I can say a new project and simply start from scratch. Yeah. Either I can choose from the templates, we have more coming, or I start from scratch and I say, this is demo for us now today. And simply it will give me this clean black slate, and I just put pluses, 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 and I make my content. So easier to work with people usually. See here, we tell you how you publish it, how you can fix the setting. And now here I create and I add, hello people. This is my heading. And I add a paragraph. This is my first paragraph. And then I say, okay, oh, let me add an image. And then you have already some images available in the system. And of course, you drag and drop any image from anywhere you want. Yeah, and then it is there. Just be careful when you're using images to use license-free images. Yeah, so you don't get sued at some point. And if I want interaction, I can have videos. So you can upload your own video. If you took a video on your phone, let's say, explaining a lesson to the students, that's super fun. You can do that, yeah, just with your smartphone. And you can upload the file here, and then you can share it with your students. No, it could be only that. And when you upload a file, no, you can actually, if you upload a video that you already have, you can tell our smart system to say, hey, generate the subtitles for me, please. And then you can have the subtitles. Yeah. And then here, as you see, I only have one language. I'm going to add another language. Let's choose a language, Rosa. Portuguese. So languages. Oh, wait, it's still working on the subtitle. Give it a sec. Oh, I'm sorry. Rosa's sitting behind me on the couch. It happened that we had another project meeting and we are together in the same country. She's visiting us. So our Rosa is just next to me. Yeah. Okay, so look, I can add any language that I want. No? So let's say Rosa said Portuguese. So I'm going to add Portuguese. And Portuguese Brazil, Portuguese Portugal, of course. And I save that. I can add the sound. How do I want the woman to be reading? The sound of this woman, the sound of this man. Cristiano, Duarte, Fernanda, Ines, Raquel. Let's take Raquel. I don't know how her sound looks like, but and then I can say, hey, I like this design, but I think I have my kids who enjoy more this kind of design. So the design is already there. All you have to do is choose if you want to change it. You added a language, you have the title, and then now I have my video. Look, it generated the subtitles for me. And now even the Portuguese subtitles. So how cool is that? You made a video for your students and you made that video in Portuguese, for instance, or I don't know, if you are an English teacher, you made it in English, and you want to show them the words, the subtitles on that video, but you also want to offer them that if they see this content in Portuguese, that they actually also get it in Portuguese. So this is in English, Portuguese, and look at this preview, since now it's just a testing thing. No? So if I watch it in English, hello people. So if I watch it in English, no, the image I've added, see, automatically it made the design for me. And now it was going to show me the subtitles. See? And if I choose that I don't want it in English, I just want to do it in Portuguese, then, and I play it. Oh, hola. Wait, wait, I want to start it from the beginning and try to read Portuguese. So again, let's go for Portuguese. Hola, pessoal. Yeah?
Okay, not bad.
Okay, I'm muting it because I only hear the sound myself. Okay, and so here, este é o meu primeiro parágrafo. Please don't laugh at me. But you see, it's just I'm learning Portuguese, see? And now even the translation, the subtitles, I mean here in my video, just the Portuguese came. No? Now remember, this is automated. So if you want, if you, of course, you know Portuguese, if you are a Portuguese teacher, then you say, okay, it's not bad, but I want to change this word. I don't know if this is correct. So I don't want this day here. I took it out. So it's modifiable. That's what I wanted to deliver as a message. Okay. And even if you add these automatic generated activities, it's not that you cannot modify them. There's always room for you to improve what is automatically generated. So you either take it or not, you change it or not, and so on and so forth. So this is more or less the tour of this tool, the tour of the Design City project. It has the training, it has these lesson examples that we already provide. It has this tool that you can create your lessons with, either from scratch if you'd rather go slowly, or you have already a template that you liked a lesson from and you say, oh, okay, I'm going to take that template where the animal habitat lesson was, because it applies to me, it speaks to me, it speaks to my students, and I'm going to actually modify a little bit or use it as is. Yeah, it depends on whatever you're teaching, and so on and so forth. So as you see, we have so many templates that are coming to the platform: watch, read, and reflect, concept mapping, think, parent, share, game-based learning. This should be fun. There's one with Angry Birds. I don't know if you guys played Angry Birds before, but we have one with the game-based learning and Angry Birds. Let me see where it is. Game. Let's create. Oh, let the Angry Birds teach you. This one. No? So it's fun. It's really fun. And I mean, I know it will take maybe half an hour to decide to say, okay, I'm going to sit, I'm going to start to get, I'm going to familiarize myself with the tool, with the project. It takes you not more than half an hour to the max. And you even have these help videos, tutorials that are here. So this is our Angry Bird lesson. Let's see where the Angry Birds come. I remember I had the Angry Birds here. So velocity and Angry Birds. And then see, this is a quote style. So the teacher who created this wanted to highlight this one. So they put it in this kind of format, and then the objectives clearly stated of the lesson. And okay, this is the initial questions. And la, 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 Angry Birds. Okay. So I would really say you don't have to worry about the design, how it looks. You don't have to worry if it fits the mobile, the Padlet, the tab, the computer. You don't have to worry about translations of languages. You don't have to worry about, oh, how do I create multiple choice now? Or I want to create a summary. Let the tool do it for you. Okay. So let it do it for you. And of course, you as a teacher, you correct it and you do it the way you see fit. And it's really a plus. You choose what you want, you just do it, and that's it. And let's see if here it has more content to create flip cards. I don't know. But so on and so forth. Okay. So this is what I have to offer as a project, as a design city, design-ct.eu. And this, once you sign up to the project, you can use the tool for free. Because you signed up in the project in Design City, you automatically log in from Express Creation, you're automatically logged into this tool. See, now this one, these are the flip cards. See, it weak point, and you can add images to these flip cards, and let's see how they look in the lesson. Of course, you can always modify the text again if something doesn't sound right for you. I think I've added it towards the end of the lesson. Okay, okay. Here, it was after this part. And our flip cards, where are you? They were under. So I don't know, Gustavo. I don't know. I can't see or contact or if we have any questions. So
There are no questions, only some comments here by Jane, which is one of our regular audience. She says that is excellent work. She says that children will love this. And also she's a Portuguese speaker, so she was reacting to the pronunciation. But I'm as a Portuguese speaker
positive or
also
negative? Wait, I have to
positively.
know.
It was
Okay.
quite good, much better than we would speak
All
in
right.
another language. Excellent.
Thank you.
You know, there's a lag of 1 or 2 minutes from the YouTube broadcast, so maybe we have some questions later,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
I will let you know if you have anything else here.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I'm focused now on showing you these, but I had forgotten to save it. That's why. But anyhow, explore it, enjoy it. It's really fun to work with it. And by the way, if you once you start making your first, second lesson, you can always duplicate your own lessons and reuse them. Yeah. So it's just fun to play with. It's fun to work with. And it's always, I mean, we do love to encourage teachers to share their work. So if you created something you're proud of as a lesson with your students, then you can share it on the Design City platform as well. So Rosa,
Rola, thank you very much. I think it was superb. I have to say, I'm totally addicted to this platform because the possibilities are numerous and they keep improving it and changing it and adding a few more interesting things. You know, producing the lessons is kind of a discovery. And I do think that for teachers, especially the possibility of collaborating in the creation of a lesson is everything that we want teachers to be doing to, you know, promote STEAM learning and build together these wonderful lessons. And it really saves time. So we are preparing a very nice collection, and some of you that are online are going to be with us next week in a summer school where we are going to present Design CT, and you have some time to play around with it too. So we're looking forward to see how you're going to cope with the challenge that we have for you. Of course, being me, it's not going to be an easy challenge. It's going to take you all out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have a lot of fun together creating a lesson. I'm sure you're going to love it. So for those of you that are not going to be with us during the summer school, the team of Design City is promoting a series of training events in the next few weeks and months. And we will continue using and bringing this platform towards you. There's going to be many examples that will be super useful to you. As Rolla said, there are the cards, the different units, and the cards we try to be as complete as we can, but not exhaustive. So you can go very lightly, or if you want, we are also providing more information if you want to go deep in any of the methodologies or the type of tools that we are sharing with you. So we try to be very complete. We're very open to your suggestions. And I think for the Learning from the Extremes team, this is a super duper tool to get you using and get you rolling in your new digital tools, being creative and collaborating with your colleagues to create something new for your students. So it was great having you with us, Rola. I hope that in the next season you are here with us again with some more news. And with a very heavy pain in my heart, I have to tell you all that this was the last webinar for this school year. I have to thank Gustavo for his diligent work preparing the links and everything to go so smoothly We didn't have any glitch. So Gustavo, thank you so much for supporting us.
My pleasure.
And we will be back in September or October, the latest, with a new collection of good things for you. And we wish from the bottom of our hearts that you have a super nice vacation, that you come back totally rested. You will need to be rested because we are going to ask you to do a lot of fun things. So see you all soon somewhere, live or online in the near future. Thank you all.
Thank you, Rosa. So I'm finishing the broadcast and see you in September, October, or earlier if we meet in person. Bye-bye.